Hello, my name is Roland, and today I'm going to do some real talk. Before I get started, I want to drop a caveat. I am not here to bash women and defend men. Neither am I here to bash men and defend women. I'm actually going ahead and offend everyone. You should see me as a neutral communicator that talks about controversial topics. With that being said, the reason why I'm doing this video and will do many more in the future is that the society we live in is completely effed. People are completely and utterly lost and out of their minds. People treat each other horrendously, and our whole society is degenerating more day by day. There is an abundance of problems I can potentially speak about, but for now and the foreseeable future, I want to focus on the male female interaction in particular. So, what on earth is going on between men and women these days? On one hand, you have Neo-Feminism, so new feminism, important distinction, which in a nutshell leads to misandry. And on the other hand, we have groups like MGTOW, so men go their own way, which in a nutshell leads to misogyny. So, why is that? Where's that divide between men and women coming from? When looking at it from the male side of the problem, there are activist groups like MGTOW. I start out by talking about MGTOW because years ago, unfortunately, I bought into their belief system after having had some bad experiences with women. But as you will see in the next minutes, I figured that there is something off with how these activist groups perceive women, to say the least. So, the activist group of MGTOW correctly analyzes the symptoms of what's wrong with many women in our society, but, big but, the issue is that they do not have an accurate understanding of the causal factors of the problems. So they don't understand why women are the way they are. They say and postulate it's female nature. Many times those activist groups like MGTOW go so far as to portray women as evil. But there's the problem. There is no such thing as female nature. There is also no such thing as male nature, for that matter. There is a human nature. The question which is asked often is the following: are humans good or evil by nature? Well, they're neither. We humans, as a species, are programmable by nature, much like a computer. So that doesn't mean we are literally like computers. It means that we are akin to computers, meaning that we are essentially similar to a computer, in a sense that depending on what information we receive as input, yields a corresponding output. So, for example, if you have a computer with a bad file system format, a bad operating system, and bad and buggy software, what do you think, what kind of performance do you get from this computer? Like, how well will this computer run? Well, this computer will run very badly if it runs at all. So, garbage input leads to garbage output. And the same is true for humans. If a human is exposed to bad conditions during its formative years, surrounded by a flawed culture, and is fed erroneous, so wrong, rigid, dogmatic beliefs, the life of that particular individual will also be bad. So, if we understand that human nature is per definition programmable, it unveils a whole new perspective in terms of why most women in our society are the way they are, and also why most men are the way they are. So, my point is the traits that followers of the MGTOW and Red Pill community associate with women, such as hypergamy, or the characteristics women are said to seek in men, such as desiring a controlling alpha male, are not due to female nature, but rather due to a lifelong conditioning. Let that sink in for a minute. Women are not born with hypergamy, they learned hypergamy. There is actually a specific name for this type of conditioning. It's called social engineering. By the way, this has nothing to do with cyber criminals, the cyber criminals definition you find on Wikipedia. When I talk about social engineering, I talk about the psychological manipulation of the public by a few select groups of people that are in the know. Since I don't want to overwhelm you guys and go full send already on this first video already, I'm trying to explain what I'm referring to here by giving an example. I saw a clip recently where a woman talked about the cost of living and its effect on our society. She asked questions like, when will they understand that people can't afford their lives anymore? People can't afford to have children anymore. Why don't they do anything about the declining birth rates? Well, with they, she referred to the politicians and the leaders of our world, if that wasn't obvious. The answer to her question, and to give you an idea where I was getting at with talking about a few groups of people that are in the know. Well, there is an agenda, my fellow men and women. And trust me when I say that we both get screwed equally. It doesn't matter if you are in the MGTOW camp, the Neo-Feminism camp, the Red Pill camp, the Incel camp. We are all losing. And that's by design. I will wrap up this video here with the following statement. These social engineers have the majority of the human population exactly where they want us to be. As I said, they have an agenda. And let's say it like this. They are not particularly fond of us. In the contrary, they actually despise us. Well, I hope I was able to spark some intrigue and interest with the topic I just talked about. I will dive into more detail in the upcoming videos. I want to dive into the hows and whys, and most importantly, what men and women can do to set themselves free from the chains that were bestowed on them. With that being said, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comment section below what you think about the topics I just touched on. Thank you very much, and I see you next time.